The people of the United States are extremely angry, on a level that we haven't seen since the Civil War, and for wildly different reasons. On the right, they are worried about nostalgia slipping away. They see their neighborhoods look different than they did when they were growing up, and they don't like it. Suddenly, the cast of the America show doesn't look like they want it to. They were used to it looking largely like themselves. Now they're having to get used to other cultures, other races, other sexual orientations. They grew up learning that men that wanted to be like women were either weak or had some sort of mental disorder. They grew up in a world of binaries: God, devil, man, woman. And these people loved having their world as simple as possible. So instead of coming to some sort of acceptance that the country is changing, they would rather cling to anybody who would come along and say, hey, I can turn back the dial. I can make it like it used to be. All you have to do is embrace the ideology that I put before you, and things will all get back to the way they used to be. Then you have the anger from the left, and the rage is pure betrayal. We were practically raised on stories where our grandfathers went to fight fascism. They stormed beaches so we would never have to. So many of them went over there and lost their lives or came back injured or broken. And now we're seeing neighbors cosplay as brown shirts because they were convinced that pronouns are scary. So here we are, two tribes glaring at each other across a cultural fault line. One side is terrified of losing the comfort of the good old days, and the other side is terrified of losing democracy. And if we can't quit romanticizing the past or thinking that fear is patriotism, then we're not just divided, we're circling the drain. And the thing is, the people on the right were raised with the same stories about fascism that we are, so they know that it's wrong. At this point, they're just willing to do whatever it takes to get back to that top level of privilege. Back when all their neighbors looked and acted just like they did. Back when queer meant weird or deranged. Back when the binary was our tribe and those people. And they don't understand that accepting this horrible ideology is not going to make their lives better. And it's not going to make the other people go away. All I've ever heard from the right is, socialism never works. Every country that's ever tried it has failed. And that's not exactly true, but you know what you can say that about? Fascism. Every single civilization that has tried to go with fascism has eventually fallen. So, my people on the right, you can either learn to accept that the country is changing and just let it happen, or those changes are just going to happen around you anyway and you're just always going to be angry. I know that you think that this is your country, but it's not. It's our country. All of us share it together. You don't have to like it, but you do have to accept it.